Now, the Miami Dolphins kick it off with the New England Patriots week 1. Absolutely, I have the Patriots winning this game because the Patriots are at home and they have the better quarterback, the better coach, and they're just a more complete team. And also, I just think that their defense is going to give Tua some fits. And also, Bill Belichick is prepared for a shortened week, so I feel like this is a game where the Patriots find a way to win this game. Now, I have them winning the second game and splitting with the Patriots, and the reason why is that the Dolphins always win at home versus the Patriots for some reason. I mean, because we already know weird things always happen in Miami. So yeah, that's why I have the Dolphins splitting with the Patriots. Now, week 2, they got to play versus the Bills. You know what? I feel like this game is going to be interesting because this is a very cold climate team. Now, the Bills, are going across the country playing Miami in September, which is not a great place to play at. But I'm going to say the Dolphins win the first game versus the Bills because I feel like Tua is going to be motivated because I know he played very terrible by the end of the year versus Buffalo. And, they lost to them twice because Ryan Fitzmagic did not play good, and the Dolphins blew that game. So, yeah, I think this is a game I think Tua's going to have a good game. Now, I have the Bills beating the Dolphins week 8 because the Bills are just a better team, and they have the better quarterback and better coach. And they're at home. So, yeah, that's why the Bills will win this game. Now, week 3, they got to play versus the Raiders. Obviously, this game right here is going to be very interesting because the Raiders almost won last year, but they blew it because Ryan Fitzmagic found a way he threw a touchdown and it made the Dolphins win. Now, Tua did not play well this game, and he got kicked out because of him not playing well versus the Raiders. That's when Derek Carr had his best game. But I feel like this game is going to be super close. The Raiders can barely pull off this upset because Derek Carr is the best quarterback in this game. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins here because I just think the Dolphins are just a better team. And I just don't think that the Raiders are really good this year because I just think that, they lost a lot of pieces. I mean, their offensive line is not great. Their defense is really not good at all. I mean, I just feel like the weapons that Miami has, I think they're going to expose the Raiders' secondary because they don't have any corners who can cover those receivers. So I think with Jalen Waddle, Will Ford, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, I mean, those weapons are going to have a big day. So I feel like the Dolphins will find a way to win this game. Now, next game, they have to play versus the Colts. Now, this game is interesting, though. Now, when we look at it on paper, the Dolphins match up well with the Colts because they have the corners and the pass rush to, shut down receivers and also stop the Colts' rushing attack and slow down Wentz. Now, I feel like it could go either way, but India's going to Miami. But I think this game is going to be super close. I mean, the Dolphins can pull it off, though. But I just kind of feel like that the Colts defensive line versus that Dolphins offensive line is not a good matchup. But I'm going to go with the Colts here because I just think they have a better O-line. And I just think that the defense is going to give Tua some fits and all that. But as long as Carson Wentz plays well in this game and gets protected, then I think they'll be competitive and win this game. So, yeah, that's why I think the Colts will win this game. Now, they got to play versus the Bucs week 5. I got the Bucs winning because they're Super Bowl champs. I mean, there's no reason to say that. So, yeah. I mean, the Bucs are just a better team. They just have the better quarterback and better coach, and they're at home. So, yeah, that's why Tampa Bay wins this game. Now, next game, they have to play versus the Jags. Obviously, I think this game right here is going to be very interesting, though, because it could go either way because the Jaguars have a really good it's going to be two young quarterbacks playing against each other, but the Jags, they build some talent around the defense, but the defense is pretty young. And I don't really think because I kind of feel like the Jags will be competitive in some games though, because they have Trevor Lawrence and all that. But you know what? I feel like that a rookie versus a really good defense like the Dolphins is too much. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. But I feel like it's going to be close. But Jacksonville could pull off the upset. But I just think Miami's going to win because they're just the better team overall. And they just have the better coach. And also, Jacksonville is going to be dealing with some learning curves because they have a new quarterback. They have a new coach. I mean, they got a new culture. They have a young defense. I mean, it's going to take some time. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be close, though. But I just feel like that the Dolphins' weapons are going to find a way to expose that Jags' young secondary, which is really not great. So I think the Dolphins will find a way to win this game. Now, next game, they have to play versus the Falcons. Obviously, I have them beating the Falcons, and the reason why is that, the Falcons, offense is terrible. They lost Julio. Yeah, and also their offensive line is not that good, and the defense is not as special. So I feel that the Dolphins' weapons are going to have a big day. So, yeah. So they'll find a way to expose that Falcons' young secondary, which is not that great. And I just think that the Dolphins' defensive line can find a way to take advantage of that Falcons offensive line, which is not that great. But I think this game is going to be close, though. But I just think the Dolphins will find a way to win this game by a touchdown. Next game versus the Texans. I have them beating the Texans. And the reason why is that the Texans, I feel like Deshaun Watson is not going to play this year. So I kind of feel like the Texans are going to be one of the worst teams in the league without their superstar quarterback. Yeah. And also, we don't even know who their quarterback is. So, yeah. So, the Dolphins have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. They're at home. And they're just the better team overall. And the Texans' defense is not as great. So, I feel that the Dolphins' weapons, with a great weaponry, can find a way to expose that Texans secondary, which is not great. So, yeah. So, Tua's going to have a big day. And the receivers will have a big day as well. So, yeah. That's why Miami will win. Next game, Thursday night, they have to play versus the Ravens. Obviously, I feel like this game is going to be very interesting, though. But I kind of feel like this game will go either way because the Dolphins, they're really good at home. Trust me. I always pick the home team because Thursday night is kind of wacky. But this is kind of a coin flip, though. But I feel like this game is going to be a shootout and a high-scoring game. But I think this game will be super close because the Dolphins can barely pull off an upset. But I just think the Ravens – I'm going to go with the Ravens because I just think the Ravens are just the better team overall. And I just really think that the Ravens, they have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. And I just think that the defense for Baltimore is going to give Tua some issues. So, yeah. So that's why, and also they have the corners to cover the Dolphins receivers. So yeah, that's why I think the Ravens found a way to win this game. Now, next game they have to play versus the Jets. Obviously, I got the Jets splitting with you guys. I'm gonna say the Jets win the first game, and I'm gonna say the Dolphins win the second game. And now the reason why I have the Jets splitting with you guys is because I just really think that the Jets, the future is bright for them. I kind of feel like their defense improved a little bit. Their receiving core improved a little bit. So I think that the Jets defense can really give Tua some issues and all that. And I'm really thinking that Robert Saleh can find a way to shut down the Dolphins offense. He can find a way to do that in this game. And also, I feel like Zach Wilson will have a good game that day. So that's why I have the Jets winning. And also, the reason why I have the Dolphins beating the Jets because the Dolphins are just a better team, and I just really think they have the better. That's why I just enter at home. So that's why I think the Dolphins win. Also, a rookie quarterback on the road versus a great defense like the Dolphins is too much. So yeah, that's why I have the Dolphins winning. Next game, they have to play versus the Panthers. Now this is interesting though, because the Panthers have really improved this offseason. Their front seven improved. Their secondary improved in the draft and through free agency. I mean, their defense really improved in the offseason. But the offensive line needs a little work. I mean, yeah, they have great receivers, though. Their receiving core is good because and improved in the draft because, they got Terrence Marshall and you also got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. So, yeah, that's a really good dynamic duo. And also CMC, a great running back. But this game's going to be interesting, though. But I feel like it's going to be close, though. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins because I just think the Dolphins are the better team. I mean, they have the better coach, and they're at home. And I just think Tua is just better than Sam Darnold, in my opinion. So that's why I think the Dolphins win. Next game, they have to play versus the Giants. Obviously, I'm going to skip that one. So you head into the bye week. Then after the bye week, I know we already did week 15, so they have to play versus Saints on Monday night, and they got to play the Titans on Saturday night. I have them dropping both games versus Saints and Titans. Now, the reason why is that the reason why I have them losing to the Saints is because the Saints, I mean, the Superdome is just a hard place to play at because it's loud and crowded. I mean, they have a great offensive line, a great defensive line. I mean, I think the Saints defense can find a way to give Tua some issues. But the Dolphins kind of match up well with the Saints too because we can see this Dolphins defense giving Jameis a tough time and give him fits. But you know what? I just really think that the Dolphins, have, they have some really great receiver, which they can match up well with the Saints really good. But I feel like Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara is going to have a big game. So as long as the Saints protect Jameis and he plays well, then I think the Saints find a way to win this game. But it's going to be close, though. But we can see Miami win this game, but I just feel like the Saints are going to win. All right, next game. Then they got to play versus the Titans, and I have them losing to the Titans is because I just feel like Ryan Tannehill's a better quarterback than Tua. They have the better coach. They're at home. And I just think they're the better team overall. So, yeah, and I just really think that the Titans offense is going to have a big game. And I feel like they'll find a way, to, control time of possession and all that and secure a line of scrimmage. And I just really think that, the Titans defense, it improved a lot. And I think that the Titans secondary improved a lot. So I think they have the corners with Caleb Farley and Janoris Jenkins to, cover the receivers of the Dolphins. So, yeah, so it's going to be a close one, but I just think the Titans find a way to win this game. Now, they got to play versus the Giants. Now, the Giants are kind of like an interesting team, though. Now, we can see this going either way because both weapons are surrounded by young quarterbacks. But you know what? I feel like it's going to be close and it's going to be a shootout, though. Because I kind of feel like they match well with each other and they kind of like the same version. I don't really know what to pick, but I can see Miami win this game at home. But because they have the better defense in this game. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Giants because I just feel like the Giants are going to be good this year. I mean, I think they have the weapons to move the ball against the Dolphins because the Giants' wide receiving core is stacked. I mean, their defense is not as great as yours, but their secondary improved. So I kind of feel like they'll find a way to cover the Dolphins receivers and all that. So yeah. But I feel like it's going to be close though. But I just feel like the Giants are going to win this game. So just right now, I have the Dolphins landing at 8-9. Because I could see them winning 9 or 10 games this year. Or maybe 11. Just depending on Tua's development. And depending on how Miami does. But I say their maximum is about 11. So I say they win no more than 11 games and no less than 7. So yeah, so I feel like that their floor is going to be 7-10. But I kind of feel like the Dolphins are going to regress this year, so I feel like this is a down year for them because I thought they had an easy schedule, but I feel like their schedule is going to be very tough this year due to the development because I don't really know if they're going to repeat some of the things they're going to do what they did last year. Because when you look at those games, I'm trying to figure out which game is key for them. Because if you play the Patriots twice, that's key for them. If they play the Bills twice, that's key for them. The Colts game is key for them. I mean, the Raiders game is key for them. I mean, the Bucs game is key for them. The Jags game is key for them. The Falcons game is key for them. And the Ravens game is key for them. And playing the Jets twice is key for them. The Giants game is key for them. The Panthers game is key for them. And the Saints game is key for them. And the Titans game is key for them. I mean, those are some of the games that are just key for them. Like, if their offensive line, improves a little bit, I mean, they have a chance to beat the Colts. I mean, they have a chance to beat the Ravens. I mean, they have a chance to beat the Saints. I mean, they have a chance to beat, most of these teams are the schedule. So, yeah, that's how I see it as 8 and 9 for right now. But I just feel like that they're going to disappoint me again this year. So I don't feel like they're not going to be a playoff team. So, yeah, I mean, with 3 and 3 in the division, 6 and 6 in their conference, 6 and 3 at home, 2 and 6 away. I mean, that's pretty good. So, yeah, so that's how I see it as the Dolphins right now. But that can totally change my mind. Well, that's all my prediction for Miami Dolphins. I mean, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below about what you think your prediction for the Dolphins is. Do you think my prediction is right? Do you think my prediction is wrong? I mean, just let me know in the comment section below what you think. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones from The Big Fan. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.